All right, all right, all right. How's everybody doing? Oh, everybody's muted. I asked the question and everybody's muted, so I guess only I can answer. Anyways, there you go. You can unmute yourself if you want to answer.
Hey Lynn, how's it going?
It's going well. Thank you, thank you.
Good.
Who's ready to learn some Google stuff? Josh is smiling, so he's on mute, but I'll take the smile as a yes.
I was trying to say yes, and then I realized I was on mute.
Yep. All right, so here's the question I have is can everybody see my can you see the screen that I'm sharing? What are you guys seeing? I just want to make sure that I don't
Yes,
dive into this.
I can see a Google screen.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
I, I apologize for what I am wearing. I'm wearing a Christmas ugly sweater because I was just at a holiday party.
nice. Well, it,
Ev.
if that's the excuse you want to get for wearing an ugly sweater, that's fine, but you know, nobody says you can't just wear an ugly sweater anyways, just for the fun of it.
Exactly.
All right, so I'm gonna dive in. Um, Before I dive in, I just want to kind of, as they say, read the room a little bit. Does anybody have anything specific that they're hoping to get out of today? Is there anything specific look, I'm doing this. I want to, I'm running into issues here. Um, Open question, piece here real quick. Or do you just kind of want to have me jump in and say, hey, let's see what you got? Creating a little notepad to write down any questions that people have.
So Jennifer says she can't seem to get her profile updated.
I can't get verified. Oh, okay.
Doesn't that deal with the reviews that are part of that business page?
Yeah, so Tina, you asked that question. I'm gonna unmute you. Hang on, and we'll let you explain that a little bit further because
So I
we may
have
be
a
diving
Google,
right into exactly what you're talking about. So I figure why not just, ask the questions up front.
so I have a Google page,
Okay.
but I've switched companies and I actually just switched offices last month, but I want to get verified because I can't do reviews. I can't do anything else. It won't let me update my photos or anything because it says I'm not verified. So I have this page, it's there, but it says, oh, you have to do a video of where you work and show that.
Yeah.
And I really struggled. I will tell you that when I switched from Berkshire to West USA, a title company actually was able to get the address changed so my correct address is showing on Google.
Okay,
I don't
that's
know how
good.
they did it, but I can't do it. And now I've got a different address and I can't get that in there. And so that's where I need help.
Yeah, no worries. So here's what we'll do is I'm gonna dive into mine and I'll kind of take you step by step, right? So I I have a bunch of Google profiles. I've admittedly done a bad job of promoting my own name. I promote my team more than I promote my name. So I'll show just what we have with the team name. And so you used to be able to go into Google and there was a specific dashboard for your Google profiles. And now they're running everything based off of like Google Maps, right? And so I've learned that the two steps that I want to do when I'm trying to do any modification to my profiles is one up in the right hand corner. I want to make sure that I'm logged into Google Chrome, for instance, and I want to be logged into Google Chrome with the account that I'm trying to
Lynn,
modify. Right. Yep.
sorry, I'm totally interrupting you, but
Yeah,
there's
you are.
someone in the waiting room
Okay.
who might be sharing something that they want to hear as well. So
I'll check that every frequently here.
yeah,
There we go. I
unless
got
there's
him
someone
going
else
in.
you can put in charge to watch the waiting room for, there she is.
Well, Jason was going to be in charge of that, but he's
I know he's under
yeah,
the weather, so
yeah. I was like
Oh, he's
crap
on.
last week.
Jason's on right now.
Yeah, but he's probably worthless. I mean, and I don't mean that in the nicest way possible.
You're
He's
not
feeling like,
Jason.
because he's feeling like crap right now. I know how it is. It's like, I'll sit on this thing, but don't ask me to actually do any work.
Can't even talk. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
that's how I sounded on Monday.
poor guy.
So there's hope.
Okay.
There's hope. He'll come back around. So yeah, like I was saying, make sure you're logged into Google Chrome with the same account that you're trying to modify, right? So this is, and you should be able to see it on the screen, but that's my loyalty home group. Log in, and then I'm logged in here, loyalty home group, right? So this is the business that I'm trying to interact. And so what you're talking about, Tina, is that you can't really modify your profile. So when I hit edit profile, it's going to give me some options in here. Now, I'm just going to be completely honest. That whole thing with the video and all that, you used to be able to get verified. Back in the day, they would send you like a postcard, and then you would just go in, you type in your number, whatever, and they stopped doing that. And I don't know why they stopped doing that. I actually ended up calling because I had the same issue, right? So I was trying to get verified in Naperville, Illinois recently, because we have a team. Our team's also in Illinois, and I needed to, because same thing, right? We switched from EXP over to Real Broker, and so when we switched over, I needed to modify and get everything updated, and so I ended up doing the call thing, and I did have to do video, but ironically, I was getting verified for Naperville here in Gilbert. So I just told the lady, I'm like, she goes, well, I need to see your desk. I'm like, okay. She goes, I'm like, here it is. She goes, all right, I need you to show me the computer works. So I was, on here, and she goes, I need to know you have a vehicle. So I went outside to my garage and I filmed my vehicle. She goes, all right, I need to see you opening the door. I need to see the dashboard working. And so it was really goofy. So doing all that stuff, all of a sudden pops up and she's like, okay, you're verified. And I'm like, I just kind of kept my mouth shut, just to be honest. Because there was a certain point where I'm like, do I tell this lady that I'm not in Naperville right now? Like, I mean, I thought I explained it, but then
That was my question. So you
Yeah.
weren't even anywhere near the office. You were at your house and she verified you.
in Arizona for an Illinois office location to get it
Are you going to
verified.
share that phone number with us?
When I was doing it, it was just one of the things, right? So when I was trying to get verified, it gave me the option. It said to call or to do the online thing. So I was like, I'm gonna call. And so when I called, she's like, okay, well, can we do a video conference? And so I ended up doing the video conference. So the moral of the story is, if you don't get a person that it's working for you, because I've had this conversation with many people, keep going. Just try the next person. Try the next person. I mean, no disrespect by the statement, but she did not sound like she was in the States. She sounded like she was maybe in a service center overseas somewhere. So I say that basically saying that when I walked outside and there was probably a picture, like she picked up on a palm tree, she probably didn't realize that there's no palm trees in Illinois. There's no cactus in Illinois. There's absolutely zero desert-ish anything in Illinois. So that's how I got it verified. And it was a pain. It took me like a week and a half to get it to the right person. So it was the second or third try that I finally got somebody. So hopefully that can help, because that is the biggest issue we run into, is people saying I can't get verified. I see somebody trying to talk, but they're on mute. Jennifer, let me unmute you.
Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
I did the video thing and uploaded it, and I could never get anybody on the phone, so I just kind of gave up on it and walked away. But I'll just keep calling them, I guess.
Yeah, that's my biggest recommendation. Like when you're on here and it says edit profile, it doesn't really give you all that, but I'm already verified, right? So that's why I'm also past all these things here. There's another term. Let me just see if I Google this real quick and see what we end up with.
So do you have to get verified every time you make a change to your profile?
You're supposed to. So just going to be completely honest on another thing is sometimes I just leave my stuff. So I manage some other people's profiles as well. So that's why you're seeing these other people in here. Yeah, here's my Cook County right there. If I go to here, here's my other Cook County. One of these, yeah, I finally got all verified, but for instance, this one here on my Google, my Google local service ads, it still says eXp Realty. And when I tried to get it changed, they told me that I'd have to go through this whole rigmarole, and I just said, you know what, screw it, just leave it alone. So I've just kind of left it alone at this point. But yeah, this is where you can get a quick snapshot. You can see I see verified. So if I didn't have verified, I'd have my options in there. And so I would say pick the option where you call somebody versus just do the upload if you're having a hard time getting verified. So hopefully that'll help.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a pain, but it's important, right? So one of the reasons why I think it's important to look at like this screen here is because this screen here, this is a reflection of what the community sees, right? So if somebody Googles you, because there's two reasons why somebody would Google you. One, they know you and they're just curious, or two, they are about to meet with you, right? So I kind of look at Google as my virtual business card. And if I keep looking off to the side, sorry, I have like multiple monitors set up. And so the screen I'm working off of over here is what you're seeing. But Google it's basically your digital business card, right? This is what people see when they know they're meeting with you. So if I schedule an appointment, yeah, this is Len, I'll be meeting with you tomorrow at 2, looking forward to our appointment. I just make the assumption that in the next, 24 hours, 12 hours, whatever, that they're probably going to Google my name. And I want to make sure that they're going to find something that I'm proud of. And so one of the things I wanted to talk about today is really just how to optimize this profile. One of the things that's really nice is it tells you right here, my profile strength is a green circle. So it's telling me I've done a good job, right? It's giving me kind of a props, a thumbs up on it. And so little things like when you go, and I'm just going to quickly breeze through some of these icons here, but when you look at your profile, you've got these different options to go through here. But like, changing my business name, I should be able without a problem to add my broker on here. Now it'll update. See, your edit is pending, usually takes up to 10 minutes. I'm not going to now have to get re-verified. So if I go over here, I'm not going to all of a sudden see the verification disappear because now I'm doing a modification. It does say pending edits, as you can see, but it still is technically verified. So you want to make sure you're doing some of those updates and changing things as you see fit. Your business categories, there's really not a lot to choose from, but definitely put in your description. So this is an opportunity for you to use keywords specific to the type of business that you do. So if you're really big with like relocation, first-time home buyers, new construction, you want to put those terms in here because this is what people find. So if Jason was feeling better, he would chime in and he'd probably say, well, he's got the fact that he's a 20 plus year investor or appraiser in his profile. Jason has gotten business just specifically from his Google profile, people looking for appraisers in Queen Creek. And there's not a lot of people who, when you type in appraiser, also show up as a real estate agent. And so he was able to get some business that way because he was able to showcase both things. So if anything that makes you, stand out from your competition, you've got 750 characters here to work with. Put those in here. And, it's got this little AI suggest description. I'm actually going to modify this one because I realize that, this looks more like I've got this geared more towards investors. And we do a lot of new construction on our team. So I'm going to modify this and add a little bit more verbiage to showcase that we, we do a lot with new construction and, with some of the developers that we work with. He's trying to say something. Or not. All right. Phone numbers, make sure you have all this put in here. I personally, this is just a personal preference. This phone number is a lead capture phone number that automatically, like when it rings my phone number or rings my phone, it'll actually say, that it's Loyalty Home Group calling. So the issue with putting like your cell phone number on here, in my personal opinion, is that I can't be the only one who's not answering every phone call that comes their way these days. I mean, if I looked at my call log for the day, I would have to guess that, yeah, it's already like 3 pages long. Yesterday's like, I can scroll and scroll and scroll forever with just yesterday's calls. And 90% of those are spam, right? 90% of those coming in are, especially during like the election, I was like, geez, Mike, I just was not answering my phone at all. And so by putting in a phone number here that is a forwarding number, so like I use a program called Twilio. This gets a little bit more advanced, but when the phone number comes in, I have it set and programmed to show the caller ID as this phone number. And then when they hang up, it automatically creates a lead in our CRM for me. And so I know, one, when my phone rings, it's like, okay, well, this is a client or a potential client calling me. So I answer those calls every time. I answer it in a professional manner because we're all in real estate, right? We're not at our desks 24/7, right? We're not, we don't have an old school landline phone sitting at our desk to where we, pick it up and go, thank you for calling, blah, 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 like the front desk of some of these offices. You're not going, hey, thank you for calling Berkshire Hathaway. This is Len. How may I help you? Because that phone only rings when it's an inbound call for like that type of thing. But for us, it's our cell phone, and our kids' school is calling us, our mechanics calling us, we've got our clients calling you, future clients, spam calls, we don't know who's dialing. And so by having that number as a lead routing number, it makes sure that, it's like, it's like, okay, game face, this is a lead calling me. And so I call I answer with a professional tone. And I find that just works much, much better. So make sure you have some sort of a phone number in there that is set up that way. Make sure you have your website, that goes to you. If you're on a team, don't put the team website, put your website, like your subdomain. If you're given a company website, I remember when I was with Berkshire Hathaway at one point. This is before people had their own individual websites given to you by a company. And it was like, oh yeah, here's the company website. And I'm like, the company website has a phone number on it that goes to the reload department that hands out leads at 30% or 35%. Why am I handing off a website of something that's not going to bring all leads back to me? So I always recommend with that website, make sure it's always going to be all leads back to you. Definitely put in your social profiles. This is what Google's looking for. They want you to have your Twitter, your Instagram, your TikTok, your Facebook, your YouTube page. Put all that stuff into your social profiles. Make sure that's in there. That's going to help people find you. Put in your office address. The short name, I don't know how important that was, but I put it in anyways. Your service areas. I go through here every once in a while and I add a few more. It's just, there's so many freaking towns in the area that you can add to here. So it's a matter of just taking the time to do it. I'm going to be honest. I go back and forth on these business hours. On my Google local service ads that I run, I have those listed as 24 hours a day. And then obviously there's time frames on here. I'm probably going to increase the times on these. I'd rather have somebody leave me a message because they think I'm there. But at least I know that the call came in. I'd rather have the opportunity to call them back than miss that altogether because I was too restrictive on my hours. I know it makes sense to be like, oh yeah, Sunday 12 to 6. Ideally that's a great time to say I'm available for business, but don't tell me if somebody called you at, 9 a.m. on a Sunday and said, hey, I want to list my house, that you'd be upset that you got that call. So, you know, uh, this is one of those areas where I was going to change it, but I left it, purposely for this, just so I can kind of showcase what I mean by that. Special hours, if you're doing like, these holidays, it automatically puts these in here. You can fill those in. You can add more hours for, some of this other stuff. So for confession, not something I'm going to be doing, but, maybe somebody else, maybe Tim will. He's a pastor's kid. And then more on your business. I don't get to say yes to any of these things, but maybe you do. So if you can say yes to any of these, check them off. I mean, people want to see that stuff.
Mhm.
So, accessibility, these are going to be related to what property, like what address you have. So when you're doing this, you can either do like a general vicinity and just say like, 30 miles outside of Gilbert, and then it'll draw like a map for you. Or if you have a specific office address, then you maybe want to fill this stuff off. The office address I have listed is not an office, it's not a branch office, so we don't meet clients there. So I've left this blank. So just be careful about filling these things out if you can't meet clients at the address or the location that you've got registered. So if you've done just a general overview, don't put, that you've got parking, because you're meeting your clients at their home or at Starbucks, that type of thing. So just be cognizant of that as you're doing that. And then, any other special services, it's once again pre-listed. If you speak multiple languages, knock them off. Anything you speak, put them in there. I only put Spanish because we have a Spanish speaking agent. And so, well, anybody who's looking for somebody Spanish, I don't want to miss that opportunity, because we do have a Spanish speaking agent. I'd even say like, Josh, do you guys have you have Spanish speaking loan officers, right?
We do. We have Sergio. He's in the West Valley, but yes, if we have a Spanish speaking client, we'll refer him over to him.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would say that if you're using Josh as your lender, which you should be, small shameless plug, but if you don't speak Spanish or you don't have anybody Spanish on your team, well, yeah, you do, because if somebody calls and asks and say, hey, do you speak Spanish? You could say, yeah, let me have them call you back.
Yeah,
I don't
have
know.
that marked on my Google. I need to change that.
Yeah, you should, for
Yeah, I
sure.
should.
Yeah, because you're definitely missing potential opportunity. And if you got anybody else who speaks any of these other languages, go for it, put it in there. So that's your opportunity to showcase yourself inside of that. And then it'll show up in here, right? It shows up on the profile as people are doing their searching and they're looking. So I'm going to bounce through these real quick. You want, if you're not getting reviews on the regular basis, that's going to be one of the biggest secret sauce things, is to get reviews as often as you can. A lot of people don't realize that, but this little button right here, which says ask for reviews, it gives you this sweet little short link. I build this into our campaigns so that when we close a transaction, I launch a campaign and it sends a series of messages to our client. Hey, thank you so much for trusting us. It's got a little image with it says thank you in like 20 different languages. So, it says gracias, whatever, all the other different languages. Thank you. And then underneath it says, will you take 5 minutes and review us? And then I have that link in there. And so that's a quick, easy way to get people to review you. If they're saying, we all have those people say, oh my gosh, you did so great. If you don't mind, I would love to write a review for you. Great. Here's your link. So don't send them to Google looking for you. Send them that link and, get in front of those reviews quicker by having that link. So that's where you would send is right here, ask for reviews. This is where you'd read your reviews. I definitely recommend adding photos. So you want to have pictures up here, right? So I've got logos. I got this little video thing that we did a while ago. Any listing stuff, we put those up here. You can't put phone numbers in here, so you're not allowed to have like your contact information in the picture. At least for the Google, my local service ads. But yeah, anytime you take a great listing and you're like, you've got some good pictures, put them up here. If you had an event with clients, put it up here. Anything that makes you human, anything that showcases you, put those photos up here. I'd recommend at least, probably one new picture a month just to stay on top of the algorithm. So one a month would probably be the minimum. This is just your performance metrics. So it'll show you how many people are visiting your profile. Obviously, December's been slow for me, apparently. Your calls, it'll show you how many people are looking. I mean, you'll see there's definitely activity. How are people finding me? That's interesting. Somebody found us by looking for somebody else on my home group, but I'm not going to complain if somebody calls us and says, yeah, I was looking for Ashley, but obviously I would tell them that Ashley doesn't work for us, but if we can help them, we're going to be willing to. So this just gives you an idea of what these reportings look like. If you do want to do advertising, that's a whole different conversation, but that's where you would do it. Google advertising is probably, from what everybody says, and even from our own personal experience, that's going to give you your highest intent buyer or seller. You're just not going to be at the lowest cost per lead with those leads. So just understand that Google will give you higher quality leads. You're just going to pay more per lead to get those. But I would say that, like, where your typical Facebook ad, I mean, our ads on Facebook, we probably average about 100 leads a month, and out of those 100 leads a month, we're probably converting and really saying that about 3 to 5%. So that standard that you've heard for years, 3 to 5% of internet leads, turn into something. That's the exact experience that we have with our Facebook leads. Google's going to cut that number. That's going to be a much better number. You're probably going to be looking at like 1 out of like 15 to 20 on that. You're just going to be paying a lot more for it. So you're not, you could get 100 leads a month. You'd be paying quite a bit more to hit 100 leads a month. Your typical, like, I would say, like, when I look at my ad spend in Google, we're probably at about like $40 per lead. So it's quite a bit higher. So it's something to think about, but they're high intent and we convert a lot more of those. So, it kind of balances off. So you're a real estate agent. Has anybody played with this edit products at all? What is our product? Well, our product is homes. So we actually recently started adding, under the product section, we're adding our listings. So I just started doing this recently. I honestly don't have any metrics to show you, except for, as I did my research on this subject, people said, you definitely want to add your products. Anything you can do to boost people in your direction is a good thing, right? So here's a listing that, it's now under contract, but it's got everything I need on here. It's got, you're allowed one picture. You've got, the property address, price, description, and then visit site. So I have it as a direct link to, the website that we have set up for the property. So it works as a nice shortcut to showcase the property. And then it's got the, I've got it set up for automatic, kind of like what they say, a squeeze page. So if they want more information, they can fill this out. And now I've got a lead that I've created from my Google piece.
My goal was to upload a photo of every open house I did to do the algorithm thing, but
yeah,
again, I ran into the verification thing, but I thought, open houses, anytime I got a review, of course, anything.
Yeah,
Climate.
honestly, I would say if you're doing an open house, pop that in the products. So do that there, because why not? I would like to think that most agents have the same mentality, that if I'm willing to give another agent the opportunity to work the open house, then I'm not going to complain about any advertising they do on it. And okay. I'm saying leave it up, right? So don't just do the open house and then take it down, just leave it up. why take it down? To me, there's no reason to. So
Yeah, once I get that little wrinkle taken care of, I'm gonna be
yeah,
every week.
yeah, then you can just jump in there and take care of that. So onto this. So that's the products. It's super simple. I mean, you just go in here and you literally just add a product. And to me, the product name is the address. You get to come up with your own, names. So maybe you can put it, this week's open house or open house of the week or something like that. The price of the property, copy paste from the MLS as far as the description goes. And then once again, I would recommend using for the website a squeeze page type thing, a page that goes back to you. I'm a big proponent. I can't stand when I see people post a new listing or any listing of theirs, either from the Zillow link or from an Armless link. Like going into a listing and just hitting the share button here and using that link. This link, if you go to it, has, wait for it, basically 0 lead capture. I mean, it's got this contact agent form, but that's it. And then this form goes to your email. It doesn't go into your CRM. So you can't build anything off of it based off of just sharing it from Armless. So I don't know. I always would say put your website, whatever your website program is that you're using, use that to share out to anything that's public. So that's pretty simple to do. Your services is very similar. You can just go through here. So like I have my primary category is real estate agent. I don't do appraisals, so I'm not going to put in anything over here, but you can put pricing on here if you wanted to. Obviously, I'm not doing that because I'm not charging for any of this stuff, but I would definitely recommend that I'm not going to put my commission structure on this. But if I wanted to start detailing out what I do, so building lot sales, if I want to write a description on that, do that. If I want to discuss my buyer agent services, discuss this. And I can put in, I'm not going to put free anymore. I mean, we used to be able to do that, but not no more. So I would just leave it at no price and then just put in your description of what you're doing under your services. This is all ways to optimize. I mean, you can see the list keeps going on and on and on. New homes, new construction, rental options. I would completely stay away from that one. Real estate for sale, real estate listings. I mean, you've got tons of options to go in here and customize what it is that you do. And the more you fill these things out, the more likely that Google's going to go, okay, this person, they like to see people optimizing things. And so instead of them finding you because they typed in Loyalty Home Group or whatever your name is, they're going to find it based off of what you put into your services, what you put in your profile, whatever the description is. That's how you want people to find you, is through those types of things, not through, not to only have to find you by going and searching for you. This bookings, this is a piece that I have played with it. I turned it off, deleted it at one point, but I'm trying to figure out a better way to do it now that I'm using a different software. But basically what this allows you to do is they can book a meeting with you right through here. So you could I'd recommend doing it right here, links to your online booking tools. So like if you have like a Calendly link, that's where I'd put your Calendly link. And so people can just schedule an appointment with you right on here. So I just switched mine up. So I'm going to put it back in here, but I did have it. I just got to put it back in there. You can do Q&A. So top questions that people answer. So like, I was just playing with this recently. Do you work with first home buyers? Yes, we have specific programs available. So the idea is that once again, now if somebody types in first time home buyer realtor, because I've got this as a question in my Q&A section, I have a higher chance of being found as one of the agents. So if I go, like I said, if I go into here, I may not show up, but maybe somebody else does, but first time, I have to type it right first. Well, there I am right up top. So that helps. And then these Google screened people, that's your Google local services ads. I can give you more information on that if you want, but that's how you end up here is you're paying for Google local service ads. But that's basically what you're doing to, otherwise you're going to end up, you can see this just ends up with all these other different websites. You're not ending up with any profiles. So these profiles show up mainly through, this is Google's preferred way to push people in front of you by doing it that way. Never heard of Insta sold. That's new. Man, guy's got 127 reviews. Good for him. So that's that. This is where you can add updates. So another thing I would recommend, so back to your open house, right? I would add a product for my open house and I would add an update. So updates are basically, it's kind of like a mini blog for your Google profile. So you can add an update, add an offer. You can add an event. So that's where your open house could be. Let customers know about events you're hosting. So add an event. And now you can put a picture of the property, open house 123 Main Street. That's the time I'm going to be, that's the date I'll be there. This is the time I'm going to start. This is the date and time that I'm going to end. And then you can put some details on here. So this is how I would use Google to promote that open house. Despite, I would recommend all three of those, right? So add it as a photo, add it as a product, add it as an update. And then that way you're really kind of maximizing how people find it through that type of thing. But the other thing that'll pop up is you can see you've got all these different, I always recommend go through here, right? So confirm my holiday hours. Okay, I'm going to go through here and, I can click and confirm. Do these little pop-ups that show up. They're giving you these ideas for a reason. So the more that, right now it says it looks good, but I'm going to bet that if I do more of these things, this is going to just continue to give me props, if you want to call it that, to allow me to get found by more people. So, adding a map. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it seems a lot more robust than the last time I used this. Like, there's all these different little buttons and things that we can take advantage of now.
Because it used to just be kind of this. You'd play inside of here, and that's kind of where you were stuck. Now when you click on that, it goes to this same page.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing that's definitely changed. Because it used to be this whole clunky thing inside of here to do it. But they've definitely updated it to where this is a much better, it's a little bit, getting there seems backwards until you get in there often. Gotta let Josh back in. But it's much better in this aspect. So one of the ways that I would also recommend as far as adding an update, I'll kind of take a quick survey of everybody. What CRMs are you guys using for your daily business?
I'm with Buffini, but I don't use it as often as I should.
Okay. That's the typical answer to any CRM that people use.
Yeah, I might as well just light a bunch of money on fire because that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, as long as it keeps your hands warm, then that's all that matters. Bold Trail, not familiar with that one. I use the I Found Agent one with my website. Okay. What does it say? Oh, I wasn't looking at some of these questions. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything. But so we use a program called Lofty. I'm no way a Lofty rep, but we really like it. So I'll just show you one of the things that we do inside of Lofty. Inside of Lofty, we have this thing called Social Studio. And so inside of Social Studio, I just froze my screen here somehow. I may have way too many windows open. That's a possibility. I can see it
You
spinning
think?
here. Yeah, typical stuff for me. Let me close that. Let me see if that helps. I was hoping to show Social Studio, but it doesn't want to help me here. Let's try it again. There we go. Maybe. Anyways, what Social Studio allows us to do is it allows us to take any of our promotional type items and we can go in and push it to our Google profile, right? So with Social Studio, I can create a post right here. And so inside of here, I could take this listing, right? So let's, use that as an example. And let's just say I'm going to do an open house on this property, even though it's under contract. And I can post it to my Facebook business page, Instagram, Twitter. There's YouTube if I had a video, LinkedIn, and then here's my Google My Business, right? So I could just say, let's just do the Google My Business. And I can just take this and just say, open house this Friday, blah, blah, blah. I could retype that and say, come see me Friday, open house. Now it'll only log one of these pictures. So I would just have to go through and just, delete these other pictures. And now I've got the one picture and this is what that post would look like. And it would automatically go into the post section, which is right here, right? So I have these different posts. So like, here's a listing that one of our agents took. So I just had the picture put up here. Check out the latest listing brought to you by Cy on our team. So I posted that there. If they wanted to look at it, they could click the share, well, that's the share button. Let's see, how do they open it? Oh, I'm in here. So that's why it's learn more is how you would get there. And then it brought it right over to the Facebook page. And so we utilize that Social Studio to get everything promoted. So I just find it really easy just because, like I said, I don't necessarily want to always have to log onto here to do a promotional piece. If you use a program called Deliver It, you can use that as well. I think there's also a program called Buffer allows you, I think, to. So if you don't use Lofty, for instance, you're like, well, thanks for showing me something I can't use. Here's this Buffer program. I believe Buffer allows you to share to Google My Business. I'm going to just log in real quick because I do have a free account and just double check. Let's see, Instagram, Twitter. Let's see what other channels it has. Yeah, so connect Google My Business. So you could use Buffer as another tool. If you said, look, I want to just showcase this stuff and send it out there. This could be a way that you could do that through Buffer. Buffer is pretty cool that if you're using Chrome, you can add it as a shortcut up top. And by having a shortcut up top, if I'm on the page I want to promote, I can just hit the Buffer share button and it'll just automatically log me right in. So I'm not having to do all this backwards work. So Buffer would be a good one if you don't have Lofty and you're like, yeah, I'd like to be able to share and keep my updates going. Then just connect your Google My Business to Buffer and you can, I believe it gives you 3 social connections with the free account. If you want to do more than the 3 social connections, then you would go and you'd have to, if I wanted to connect more of these, I would just have to go to a paid account. I don't even know what they charge, but I found that the free account got me where I needed to go on most of the stuff prior to this.
Is this like a hub for all of your social media stuff? Am I understanding this right?
For posting. Yeah.
Okay.
Posting and scheduling. So you can use Buffer to post and schedule to all of your different social sites, correct? Yeah. So with Lofty, we've got, like I said, we've got our Social Studio. So these are the ones I primarily post to. So I just used Lofty to post. But if I didn't have Lofty, so like if I was like when we were with KV Core, I used to be with KV Core and I would use buffer to do my pushing, because I don't want to have to log on to Twitter. I don't want to have to log on to Google. I don't want to have to log on to ABCD, across the board. This was just a nice way to just, create my post. I could just go in here, do whatever I wanted to do. It's, set up very similar. It's a very similar layout to what you see here, right? So I show where I want it to go. I type what I want to type. I add the pictures I want to add. Same here. Add my picture, add my file. I can use AI assistant to write something. And then I just, I can either do it as a blanket, or I can customize for each individual, site that I'm trying to do. I can add tags if I want to for the specific ones. So it's a great way to, get the word out there quick. I find these little shortcut tools to be very helpful for posting. They're not meant for engagement, right? So what I've learned from a social media perspective is that you could pretty much post to all these different sites the same way. They all receive the information identical for the most part. It's just how you interact with your audience that changes from, subject to subject. Because you'll hear a lot of people say, oh yeah, you don't want to use an auto posting tool. And it's like, not for engagement, no, but for promoting and pushing, I got a new listing. Yeah, boom, send it out that way. I'm doing an open house. Yeah, send it out that way. I want to, talk about an event I'm going to be at, or, showcase a new, a new closing, something like that. That absolutely all day long. So let's see, if the listing goes into your products, does it auto update the price? No. So back to your profile. If I drop the price on this one, I'd have to go in here and basically I'd have to edit it. And I may not even be able to edit it. Let me just see real quick. I may have to re-push it. Yeah, I would just edit it right here. So if I dropped it down to 349, I'd have to type 349 and then just update it and hit publish again. So hopefully that answers that question on your products. I would recommend, unless you have a way to showcase your sold listings, then I would delete these as they close. So unless you, like I said, unless you have a way that you can promote it as a closed deal. So like this one, like I said, this Dreamy Draw is under contract. So, I could do an update to this thing real quick, and I could say, now under contract. Obviously, I got to spell things right. The URL right now at this point is not going to change, but once it closes, the way our website works is I don't believe it'll stay this exact same URL. I think it adds some dynamics to it. And so I would just upload the new link, and I would use this now instead of just a post to promote the property. I would use it as a post to promote getting more listings. So I would just modify it. I wouldn't necessarily delete it. Curious what your home is worth. Here's my landing page, find out what your home is worth, and, instantly put in your address, call it a day. So that's on that piece. Any other questions on some of this stuff? We still have some time. Let's see. Can you edit the picture? You could put a solid banner. Yeah, you could definitely do that. Yeah. So if you go in here, once again, it said pending, not because it's under contract. It's pending because now Google's updating it. But yeah, you can look, I can just delete, or just re-upload a new picture if I wanted to. I'm just going to throw this one out. We played with this. There's no reason to try to create, like, I'm not going to try to put this condo on a sandy beach. I'm not selling that type of product. So I'm not using any of these, generate scene options with the listing. I'm just leaving it, just bare, kind of how it came from, the MLS type thing. But yeah, you could upload a new one with a banner sold all day long. So I know it seems really simple, like, we covered some of this stuff. It seems like pretty basic, but it will absolutely make a difference. Google, they have been and they continue to want to be the #1 search engine out there. The easiest thing I can recommend, like I said, is just follow their rules, follow their advice, put the stuff out there the way that they're asking for it, and it's going to continue to keep you at the top of the list. If you have a more common name, you definitely want to jump into here and put that stuff out there because, for me, there's not a lot of Len Nevins, so it's easy for people to Google my name. But, like even Jason, there's another Jason Hubbard that is a realtor here in Phoenix. So, he's like, our Jason is looking at it going, I need to make sure that I'm the one they find and not him. And so by doing these things that we talk about, he's making sure he stays up, above and on top of the other person. So if anybody's looking for that Jason, they may end up calling him instead of the other one. So, I mean, like I said, I know it seems kind of basic type stuff, but it's those little things. Set up your profile. So I'll just kind of go over these real quick and then kind of open it up to more questions, but make sure your profile is maximized. Keep pushing for reviews, add your products, add the updates. The updates is probably as important, if not as important as reviews. Google wants to see these updates here. They want to see a history of updates that you've put up over the years, over time. So keep that going. Keep your profiles on here. All that stuff. It all makes a difference. So anything I didn't cover that you were kind of like, oh, I was hoping you'd cover this, that you wanted me to jump on real quick before we kind of wrap things up?
Can I make a little side note? I apologize.
No,
Um,
no, I'm just kidding.
Not at all. I am a part of a business networking group, and we all make it a point to leave reviews for each of our members, and that has helped to boost their business by a ton. So even if you want your family, friends, just a reminder to your sphere of influence, you need to send this out to them and please ask them to leave you a review.
Yeah, that's absolutely critical. People, they get kind of caught up in this mindset that, well, I haven't sold a house to them, so I don't want to ask for a review. And it's like, you're just asking people to vouch for your character.
Exactly, 100%. And I know that I haven't used some of their services, but I know others that have, and I haven't heard anything bad, so I'm gonna vouch for them for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing too. So if you're looking to do the Google local services ads, you have to have at least 5 reviews up in order for Google local service ads to even kick in. They won't even display your ads if you don't have the 5 reviews.
Wow. I
So
didn't
like,
realize that.
yeah, so like people that I've helped set up on Google, on the Google, I just call it Google LSA. So local service ads. That's the first step that I have them do is like, let's get this set up. Let's get your 5 reviews. So we push hard for that. Once they have the 5 reviews, then I go in and I optimize out their ads and help them get those pushed and then continue to go. Because the reality is, if you type in, Gilbert Realtor, I guess I have to spell it right, but and I look at, here's my Google screen. But if I look at the other people, whoops. Well, maybe I got lucky. Today's the day that I'm the only one there. You start, that's not the sir. Hang on. Let's try Queen. Actually, you know what? Most people don't type realtor, they type real estate agent. Only we say realtor. There we go. So all these people, I mean, you look, 45 reviews, 127 reviews, 49, 225, 84, 400. I mean, so you can see if you want to be seen, especially if you're going to try to do some advertising, you got to get your reviews up to be able to showcase yourself, because that's really the reality, is that 40, kind of the average is 40 and up. I mean, even though this person here, 9 reviews and she's showing up, 11 reviews showing up here on the search, so that's all good stuff, showcasing these people are doing the right thing to get their stuff up there. So a lot of competition obviously in the Valley. Best way to get the call is, I mean, no offense to the person that has 9, but if I'm looking at this and I'm going, this guy's 127 and this guy's got 9, I'm probably going to call the 127 over the 9. So definitely get those reviews going. Absolutely critical.
So to add to that, Lynn, interacting and replying, responding to the reviews, liking them and acknowledging
Yes.
the review.
Yeah, without a doubt. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, I always go back when somebody sends me a review. I always go in and I thank them. Hey, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It was great working with you as well. Yeah, that's definitely a key piece too. People like to see that, you're not just taking the reviews, but you're also responding to them.
It's the same thing with social media interaction. You have to be responding and talking to people to get you up in that algorithm.
Yeah, without a doubt. So yeah, if nobody else has any other questions, I don't know, Crystal, if you wanted to add anything, talk about anything that Magnus has coming up.
We do have a few courses coming up, but we need to get the flyers put together. I will get that sent out to each and every one of you that attended today. And if you need anything at all from either Tessie or I, please let us know. I know this is the time of year where we all need to start building our business for 2025. So we are happy to help put that together for you guys. And if you need anything at all, please feel free to reach out to us.
Awesome. What about you, Josh? Anything you wanted to add? Anything you want to tell us about what's going on with rates, or any new programs you guys got coming up? He is on mute, so if he may not be able to respond, because he did turn his camera off, so maybe
he's probably trying to close a deal, hopefully.
Yeah,
Fingers
exactly.
crossed.
There you go. So
I'll add a little something while we're waiting for Josh to come back. And I closed mine too, because sometimes it can delay things that you're doing if everybody. So I figured it was only important for the necessary guests to
Yeah, I appreciate that.
out there, because sometimes it can pose delays in your share. Anyways, I just want to remind everyone too of the Magnus Media. I'm sure you received those emails from us inviting you to our content days. We have one coming up on Monday. I'll have to check and see if we have any spots available. But if you haven't taken advantage of participating at one of those, I highly recommend you do. We put them on every month at different spots in the Valley, and you get multiple lifestyle shoots and a beautiful listing. And if you have a beautiful listing, let us know, because we might be able to showcase that, because there's about 18 agents that typically show up and get to view the property too. So anyways, that's just like a side note, but you get multiple lifestyle shoots and multiple reels shot for you. So videos. So helping with your social platforms over this next year, it's a great place to start.
definitely.
And with the reels, they're reels and the photos, they are very professional looking. And I know that you can at least get through an entire month of content minimum on your social media with what we provide.
No, that's awesome. Well, cool. There's John.
I don't really have anything to add, Lynn. Just wanted to wish everyone on here happy holidays, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much for attending.
All right, thanks everyone. Yeah, reach out if you guys have any further questions on this subject.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
I guess when I was talking, I probably could have at least turned my camera on.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
No big deal.
anyways, all right. You take care.
You as
Thank
well. Thanks
you.
again.
Yeah, absolutely. Monica was also listening with Tina,
Okay.
because the
Cool.
3 agents that are on there were all agents that I work with.
Oh, nice.
But I haven't worked with Monica yet. So Tina had texted me separately, and Monica was also listening. So even though it looked like there's 3 people on there, there was technically 4 listening.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
And
Awesome.
VNA already sent a text and said it was great. So thank you for making it so simple. She said it's things that like you need to do, but
Yeah.
just watching someone do them and remembering how easy it is to do them is huge. So
Well,
it
and
takes away
Google
that fear
changing
for
everything all
going
the
and doing.
time. Sometimes with Google changing everything, it's good to see, okay, well, am I supposed to be seeing this? Oh yeah, that is what I'm supposed to be seeing. Okay, I'm not going to be able to, I'm not going to break it if I go in here now then.
Yep, exactly.
So,
I think that's what it kind of helped took that concern away.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
awesome. Any
Cool.
information you have regarding the verifying, if you do happen to have an old email or phone number for the person that had helped you, if
I'm
we
going to
could share
be
that with the group, that'd be great.
I'm going to be launching another page. So as I go through that verification process, I'll take some good notes.
Okay, sounds
So,
good.
all right, cool.
Awesome. All right, thanks, Lynn.
Oh, you bet. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.